another bang. All the Muslim cars now, with your bag it up. Light up my card with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a bag it up. Say, oh, it's another one. It's another one, yeah, it's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
What is going on, people? Welcome back to the STAYWEIGHEDIN show, presented to you on iBoxingHub in association with our sponsor, D-Rock Clothing. Use the promo code iBoxingHub, get yourself iBoxingHub 24, get yourself 40% off. I'm joined by my man Ray. How you doing?
Listen, man, another week. We got another big show on the road. Shout out to Saudi. So yeah, I was just looking forward to it.
Do you know what? It's not just another big show. This is for me the show outside of Fury Usyk. Artur Beterbiev, Dmitry Bivol, all the belts on the line at light heavyweight. Talk to me. What do you make of this fight? It's been delayed because of an injury previously, but we're here finally. Who for you has the edge in what everyone's calling a 50-50 fight?
The edge goes to. Well, I can't even say who the edge goes to. No. Well, no.
Not what you want. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the edge goes to Bivol because time is on his side. In all honesty, I want Beterbiev to win. I hope Beterbiev wins. He's got the capability to win, but Father Time is undefeated, and with the amount of injuries I've heard that Beterbiev's had to sustain, bear in mind, like you said before, we've discussed that this fight was meant to happen in June, but Beterbiev got injured. He's had surgery. I think in the last 2-3 fights, he's had the same issue of getting injured and requiring extensive time to heal. So all I'm hoping is that Beterbiev's body can hold up enough for one more fight. This is the one fight I'm begging, please. If his body can hold up, it's Beterbiev's fight to lose.
Do you know what? I'm gonna say this, and we'll talk a little bit on strengths and weaknesses of both fighters, but I personally think the edge lies with Beterbiev. Just because, and I'm not going to say he's just a power puncher and anything like that. Dmitry Bivol hasn't faced the level of power that Beterbiev has. Beterbiev has faced boxers, okay, albeit not to the skill set of Dmitry Bivol, but he still faced boxers. There's a difference for me when Beterbiev, when he starts landing and finds that initial opening, how's your body going to hold up? How's Dmitry Bivol's body going to hold up when he realizes, oh, I found my one opening and I'm going to continue to actually put sustainable pressure, not just swing and go for the knockout. So for me, I'm going to give this 52% Beterbiev, 48% Bivol. I'm leaning on Beterbiev, not just because I want him to win, but I just think he has the edge as well. But speaking about Bivol, you said he's got the edge. In terms of just some of his strengths, and I know when you say he's got the edge, it's just marginal. What are they that could affect this fight and go against Beterbiev?
Youth's on his side, distant management, he's sharp, fundamentals are solid. He just knows how to lock in for big occasions. So we saw that against Canelo, where he doesn't, especially with Canelo being a puncher, and the same way Beterbiev is also a puncher. Well, he's not just a puncher, but that's one of his bigger assets. You saw that Bivol's disciplined enough to stick to his own game plan and not get drawn into a firefight. So I think that's going to be one of the big things with Bivol, where he knows himself and he's not dumb enough to be drawn out into a fight that's not going to be in his favor, to the point where in the past he's been criticized for just not engaging because he's just been comfortable with being on the outside. So I think this is one of the few matches where you understand why he employs that tactic and he's disciplined enough to stick to that.
Do you know, I'm going to say this, right? And I'm going to try my best to articulate in a way that doesn't make me come off as a hater. I want to say Dmitry Bivol is just slightly overrated. just slightly, because
Go on.
when people talk about Bivol, they talk about the fact that obviously he had the big commercial fight with Canelo and was able to win that fight. But personally, when I go back and watch that fight, okay, the optic side of things,
Oh my, nah,
just
this
wait, just
is some.
no,
No,
just
go
wait.
on, go on.
The optic side of it, when you're initially watching it, and what's happening to Canelo Alvarez, you're like, whoa, because it's a shock factor. When you really watch it back again, it's still dominating in the sense of, okay, he won the fight, but it's not overbearingly dominating. And then that thing about, like you said, about him not going for the finish and coasting. I appreciate the fact that he's so in control of fights, he doesn't need to. But I think that's a detriment for me going into this particular fight. I just think that Canelo win, as great as Canelo is, or wait, I'm not discrediting Canelo. I just think he's a little bit overrated, and I think Beterbiev is the guy here that can show some kind of holes in terms of true punch resistance against Dimitri Bivol in this fight.
This is some of the worst caping I've seen you do for Canelo, and you've done some
Yeah,
horrible
listen,
caping.
you've got no idea what I've got lined up.
You've done some horrible caping before, but this is, of all reasons to say why Bivol's overrated, you linked it back to Canelo. The guy is rated correctly because he's that good, and he made it look easy against Canelo for a reason. However, him and Beterbiev have been like standards apart from the rest of the division. The rest of the division, like, just aren't levels with these guys, and we've seen them with the bouts that they've had where everyone else you either get finished by Beterbiev, or Bivol's just been out here jabbing your head off, staying on the outside. So I think this is why it's been very key to like get this fight to happen, because you've got two guys that are clearly above the rest. So then now we finally get to see who is the best of them. Hopefully, like I said, I'm rooting for my guy Beterbiev, but it'll be intriguing to see it go down. It's a shame because, like I've mentioned before, too much time has gone by when this could have happened. WBC were moving weird with the whole Russian ruling of like Russians can't fight for WBC belts, which to this day it's just a level of prejudice where I'm just like, do you know how much messed up stuff people have done in the world? My thing is, unless someone has actively engaged in what their country's doing, no one should be banned from
Yeah, 100%.
competing. So, like, but the WBC is getting paid now as part of it. Turkey's, buttered their hands, and all of a sudden, them being Russian isn't the issue. So, we'll it's about time we got this fight. So I'm happy.
For Beterbiev, then, like you said, we know Dimitri Bivol, his skill set, everything about him. What does Beterbiev bring in this particular fight that will trouble Bivol?
I think he's just as much of a technician, which people don't give him credit for. He's just as much smart. He's just as tactical, and he's got the experience as well. And I feel like what gets underestimated with Beterbiev is with all those finishes, people look at the end result and not what got him to the point where he can finish them. It's not just a case of being a Deontay Wilder and just go in there, hope and pray for a knockout. It's like, no, he sets things up. He positions himself. Like, if you watch the Anthony Yard fight, there's certain times that Yard had him in trouble, and the way that Beterbiev would just pivot, like he would get backed into the corner, he would just pivot in a way, and the next thing you know, Yard is in the corner getting backed up with heavy punches, and you're just there like, wait, how the hell did he manage to do that under pressure? And I feel like that's very underestimated on Beterbiev's part, because he himself has gone up against punchers, and he's found a way to get out of troublesome situations and make it work in his favor. His conditioning is always good, so he's hoping that if his body holds up, that man is a force, one of the pound for pound best. There's a reason why your boy Canelo has not called him out, and I'm hoping we get to see the best of Beterbiev on Saturday.
Why do we need to talk about the greatest Mexican of all time when we got a light heavyweight
Well,
unification fight?
you brought him up, so I was just bringing him up
No,
again. That's
I
all
brought
I'm
him
saying.
up for a different purpose.
You brought him
Different
up, and I'm
purpose.
just
Different
saying
purpose.
I'm putting more shine on Beterbiev. He
That's
called
kidding.
out Bivol for a reason. He didn't call out Beterbiev for a reason. I'm saying that's a compliment to Beterbiev. Nothing
Fair
wrong
enough.
with that.
There's
Shout out
no-
Canelo. The worst thing is,
No, see, I've made it look like you guys all hate
it's
Canelo.
just like, I don't like Canelo. I am a fan of Canelo. I rate Canelo highly. I'm just saying,
But
the
you're not a
truth is
super
the
fan.
truth. Not many people, and for good reason, do not call out Beterbiev because the guy will bludgeon you in that ring. And all I'm saying is that reinstates the fact why he is that guy. That's all I'm saying.
Who actually needs this win more on their resume? Because for me,
Beterbiev.
I'm glad you said it because I thought the same. Just because Bivol has that Canelo win, I think Beterbiev. So I'm happy you said that as well because
I
if you
don't
agree
think
with
that's
anything,
why, but
okay, go
since you
on.
brought your boy Canelo into it again, but I feel like for Beterbiev, time's not on his side. Whereas Bivol, it might take a while again, but Bivol can go back and collect all the belts. Bivol will be able to go back and collect. He would
But
at
this is the
least be
thing.
able to become unified champion again. Whereas
Okay, I'm gonna
Beterbiev,
say
I
this.
don't think that he's gonna go through this whole journey again if he was to lose it.
So for me, and it's not me gonna discredit Bivol on this because trust me, I'm not. But if let's say he lost on Saturday night, and then he went back and did the rounds again.
Who, Bivol or Beterbiev?
Bivol, if Bivol loses
Okay.
to Beterbiev, but then does the rounds again where he collects all the belts.
Yeah.
As much as the accomplishment is the same, they'll be depending on who he beats for them. The value won't be as much if that makes sense.
Nah, the only reason I disagree is because of the guy that he's faced. But if you do that to,
Because no, let me give you another example.
think
Let's
about
say
like he's an all-timer, so it's not gonna be like, oh, they're not gonna be worth anything. It's like no, it's like that weird thing that people having, that football fans have, and it's this weird stan culture where
let me give you this then. Oh, I think Ray's just go out. And let me see if we can get him back in. We're gonna quickly pause.
look
Yeah,
at they try to cut me off, but I'm back.
no. This is what I was gonna
Let me
go
let
on.
me
Go on,
say,
carry on what you're saying because this I'll make my point at 147. But go on,
okay.
carry on what you were saying.
So the reason I say is like this, because Messi went on to do what he done at the latter part of his career in his twilight, people use it as a way to make fun of Cristiano Ronaldo, to be like, oh, Messi ended up the winner I'm used to, but it's just like, can we not forget? I get his banter and everything, but the weird stan culture does this thing where if you come in second, not even if you come in second, those two are miles above everyone in the world of football. It doesn't matter. Those two are the greatest players that we've ever seen. Cristiano's stats, especially when he was at the top at Madrid, are nothing to be laughed at. It's like, yes, Messi bested him and was the best player ever, but it's not like Cristiano was chump. Well, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the same way I'm saying with Bivol is just like both of them are so much levels above that it's just like, if you lose to same
No,
way
you
that
can lose. I've got no problem in lose.
shame in it, and what you do on your own accord can be just as great. And I feel like that's where Bivol would be.
Okay, I'm gonna give you this scenario. Bud Crawford, Errol Spence. Bud Crawford gets the job done right, at 147. Belts scatter away. He's moved on to 154. Hypothetically, let's say if Errol Spence stayed at 147 and was able to clean up the division, as much as the accomplishment is undisputed, the value of losing to Bud Crawford will still stand, and that's what I meant by that.
I agree. At the same time, it would also be like if Spence was to stay at 147 and get all the belts, because of what Bud Crawford done of becoming the first ever 2-time undisputed. It would also be a case of like, what can you do? The same. That's why I like the whole.
Fair
That's
enough.
why I like the whole Cristiano Messi thing, because it's just like, what can you do? You just happen to go up against one of the best ever. It's different if it was just like a guy that we didn't rate as much, or you know, or if they got beat. If let's say Bivol gets beaten by Beterbiev and Beterbiev goes on to have a stinker after, and let's say that we might look at Beterbiev and be like, oh, you weren't that great in the first place, which could never happen because what he's done is cemented. Then it will be different. But where Beterbiev is in his career and what he's done, there's no shame in that. And I feel like that's what we need to start changing the culture in boxing and in sport in general, where just because if you lose to the best, don't bring down the achievement after the fact. I'm still, because imagine Usyk wins again, and then I doubt it will be AJ or Fury to get all the belts after. I feel like both of them are near the end. But
No,
let's say Dubois, let's say Usyk wins against Fury, then he retires and says, "Yo, I've done everything. I've cleared the division. I've lapped it twice." Relinquishes all the belts. Then Dubois goes on to become undisputed. I'm not going to look at Dubois and think, "Oh well, you're going to do it against Usyk." I want to look at Dubois like, that's, you fought one of the greatest heavyweights ever, and you came up short. Is what it is. But if you clear out the rest of the division, I'm not going to take that away from Dubois. I'm just going to say you've done what you needed to do after the was
okay.
there.
I think, do you know what? Fair enough. I'll give you that. I'm not against it. I guess before we wrap up this particular fight and just touch on the rest of the card, if you had to give me a prediction, how you see the fight ending for both guys, and then your overall prediction, Beterbiev, how does he win this fight? Going the distance or getting the stoppage?
Late round stoppage, like 10 or 11.
Bivol?
Unanimous decision or late round stoppage. Or corner retirement from Beterbiev because his body gives out in some way.
Okay. I'm going to say, I agree with the stoppage side of things. I do think, though, because of how close this fight will be, I think it would be a split decision if Bivol was to win.
Fair.
But I'd say overall, the one thing I do not want, we've got 12 rounds. Please, can we make championship boxing odd rounds? Can we go back to odd rounds? Because I do not want a draw.
Boxing is so crap they would never do that, because in order for that to
No, we
happen,
had 15 rounds before. Back in the
15
days when I
rounds is,
went.
listen.
I know it's too much, but
Yeah,
I
I
was
was gonna
never
say
born. I was never born for it.
CTE
But I'm
is
saying you
real.
can do 13. You can do 13.
There's probably going to be someone suspicious, like superstitious out there that's saying you can't do 13 rounds.
I get it. Especially on a Friday.
Yeah.
So overall, though, who do you think comes out the winner out of this fight?
Beterbiev for sure.
I'm gonna go with that as well. I'm gonna go with that because I need my boy to win. Because I can't have that picture with Turkey, Bivol, and as much as I love the guy Eddie Hearn holding all the belts, it'll be painful. But Eddie also needs a win. He needs a win on one of these big cards because as much as the
Do
party,
you know what's funny? I don't like how people are trying to be like, this is matchroom first.
it's not.
Queensbury.
It's not.
Beterbiev is
He's his own entity.
He is a top rank fighter, point blank, period. Stop trying to put this under. I know UK wise it comes under Queensbury somehow in some weird way. Please, people, let's be respectful. He is a top rank fighter. And does Eddie need a win? Yes, but he can wait because he's had many years of success. So guess what? This is another one you can wait. Sky Nicholson can get revenge for you, but my guy Beterbiev has something he needs to accomplish.
I want to talk about quickly. I'm going to say one promoter. And look, I gave him promoter of the year for what he was able to do for the first half of the year. But for me, right now, he's doing too much on this card because you've got Ben Whitaker, you got Eubank Jr. So you got two fighters who are just in gimme fights, but you have representation there. For me, I think Ben Shalom has missed a big trick by putting Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley too on the undercard of this card. Because for me, that is a fight that you can make a headline card on for your own personal shows. You can make the books in London for that. Putting it where it's going to be positioned, and if I'm not wrong, the running order has Eubank Jr. ahead of them anyway. People are just not going to tune in. Like, as much as we say our boxing is growing, and it is, I would say 80 to 85% of people that are tuning in for that card are coming in for the main event, and that's about it. And you putting them, you're missing a trick for me, and if anything, potentially messing up two guys' career to a point where it's a highlight fight for them, and there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to watch it. What's your thoughts on Ben Shalom doing too much for me?
I think this is just Ben Shalom trying to get his pay. I get it because he needs to put boxer's best foot forward. And as much as people try to get onto Eddie Hearn about, oh, you've abandoned UK boxing and, it's not the same no more. All these promoters are trying to get that bag. All these promoters are trying to get that Saudi bag. And for me, Fraser Clark and First Wardley should be on normal subscription TV because these are the fights that actually attracts more fans and then makes people want to tune in the future. However, on a selfish note and understandably, they are prize fighters. And I'm sure, yes, it would be nice to be on normal subscription TV and build the fan base organically, but people are trying to get paid. They probably got a bag that they don't normally see to go Saudi and be on a pay-per-view. So be it. Initially, I thought that this card wasn't going to be on pay-per-view. I thought it was just going to be...
Yeah, I need to go back to see what Turkey said about this because I'm sure everywhere it's going to be pay-per-view, but then the main event's for free. That's what I remember.
I think that's even bad still. I just thought the whole card was going to be... Because Beterbiev and Bivol aren't like pay-per-view stars, I just thought it would have just been like that. But it is what it is.
I just want to get your thoughts on quickly because whilst we're here, we'll just wrap it up. But Chris Eubank Jr. saw the outburst. What is he, 34? 35, if I'm not wrong?
Somewhere around that.
But we've talked about his career going for world titles, doing this, doing that.
It's done now, man.
Where is he in his career? Like, and what can he actually do with Ben Shalom, with Boxer and stuff?
People need to accept Chris Eubank is purely all in all prize fighter. He does not care about belts. He cares about getting paid. He doesn't care everything. Just everything. He doesn't care what people think. He's in there to make sure he gets paid. I think it's a shame because I would love for him to go for a belt. And I've discussed this so many times before. But yeah, it is at the point where the guy's just a good prize fighter. So then that's it.
Cool.
He's a good prize fighter. He knows how to, and we saw even
maximize his money. He knows how to maximize his money.
Yeah, and well, we saw with the press conference that he still knows how to get people interested in what he does. So more power to him. Go get paid. All the people that think they're gonna try to draw him out to face Hamza, it's not gonna happen. So yeah, we'll keep it moving from there.
Final thing I want to touch on, and it's actually nothing to do with his card, but Anthony Yard, the Boxer deal. What's your feelings on it? It's literally a one-fight deal right now. They're testing the waters.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, it's a one-fight deal. one fight deal only. So, what do you think the thought process behind it? Is it just let's see what we can get with this fight? Again, we don't know the opponent. I don't know what they want to do with that. Also, is it just to see? Okay, let's not piss Frank off too much, type of thing, or what do you think the feeling or thought process behind that deal
I
is?
would like to think that they're just out to deal with Frank. I think the Frank stuff is just like, yeah, I'm just hoping that it's done and over with, man. Like, it's a shame, but please, it's enough, man. It is just let him be, because clearly he's already missed out on so much in regards to, like, I don't know, like, they've done the business that they've done. They've come near the end of the road. I feel like if there was more for Frank to do for Yard, they would have done it. Clearly, there's some issues that we haven't seen, and behind closed doors, we don't know what the situations are, because we, as fans, we like to speculate. Oh, I bet, but he paid him this, he paid him that. But for all we know, guess what?
They
You
get
could have
paid.
been paid. If you pay me $2 million, I'm gonna be grateful. But if I then find out I got paid $2 million, but I could have made 5, I'm gonna be pissed off. And I'm not saying that applies to this. I'm just giving an example of things that can happen, because I think some people see it sometimes where they're like, "Oh, he's so ungrateful." Frank Warren done this for him. Frank Warren done that for him. And the funny thing is, Yard has always given respect and thanks to Frank Warren for what he's done for him after his fights and in interviews. So the fact that the situation has come to this makes me feel like there's more to it, because he's not been like this with him before. So I have to wait and see.
Listen, guys, we're gonna wrap up everything. Before we do, I'm just gonna give everybody a scenario in 2025. Artur Beterbiev, he wins all the belts.
I know where this is going.
He lets them go. Our president Mauricio Suleiman comes to Mexico. He speaks to Canelo Alvarez. He says,
Nasty.
"You have the opportunity to go to 175, become our WBC champion. What do you say?" He says, "Yes, we have a champion at 175." I may cry tears of joy right now, but seeing it would be beautiful.
Benavidez will get that, should and would get a title shot at the WBC. So
I'd be more than happy at 175.
If Canelo wants that belt, come up to 175.
More than happy. I'm telling
wrestle
you
off
right
of
now,
Beterbiev.
more than happy to do that, because we win casually.
Listen, man.
I am gonna have tacos, nachos, a Mexican flag.
What's
and
the
everything
guy?
in between.
Is it Adonis, Achilles, Icarus? Icarus flew too close to the sun. And that might be another case. You can't do your weight training and stuff at 175 for Benavidez. And if Benavidez is smart, align yourself with Turkey and get the WBC belt, so you got a little bit of financial backing. But either way, if that 175 belt happens, we'll be happy. It'll be 2 years too late, but
It's never too late. It's never too late. But guys, as we said, like, share, subscribe. Again, quickly, we're going to drop the video. Normally we drop it at the start. We didn't do it this time, but I'm going to quick little video from our sponsor, and then we're going to call it a wrap. So until next time, stay weighed
It's another bang. All the Muslim cars now, whichever get up. Light up my card with a sweet one bliss. Someone flicks me a back body. So, it's another one, yeah, it's a full strand, yeah.